Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well. Mr. Mikhail Gorbachev died. He was 91 years old. And he did a lot of positive things. He did a lot of negative things, like we all. I think he is the, how should I say it, primary suspect, put it this way, in the fall of the Soviet Union. Good or bad? So let's see, I have here an article from Associated Press from today, August 30th. And the title is Mikhail Gorbachev, who steered Soviet breakup, dead at 91. Steered. Yeah, he steered it. Mikhail Gorbachev, who as the last leader of the Soviet Union waged a losing battle to salvage a crumbling empire, but produced extraordinary reforms that led to the end of the Cold War, died Tuesday, and he was 91. The Central Clinical Hospital said in a statement that Gorbachev died after a long illness. No other details were given. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said in a statement carried by Russian news agencies that Russian President Vladimir Putin offered deep condolences over Gorbachev's death and would send an official telegram to Gorbachev's family in the morning. Though in power less than 7 years, Gorbachev unleashed a breathtaking series of changes, but they quickly overtook him and resulted in the collapse of the authoritarian Soviet state, the freeing of Eastern Europe nations from Russian domination, and the end of the decades of East-West nuclear confrontation. His decline was humiliating. His power hopelessly sapped by an attempted coup against him in August 1991. He spent his last month in office watching republic after republic declare independence until he resigned on December 25th, 1991. The Soviet Union wrote itself into oblivion a day later. A quarter century after the collapse of Gorbachev, Gorbachev told the Associated Press that he had not considered using widespread force to try to keep the USSR together because he feared chaos in the nuclear country. And I'm quoting, "The country was loaded to the brim with weapons, and it would have immediately pushed the country into a civil war," he said. Many of the changes, including the Soviet breakup, bore no resemblance to the transformation that Gorbachev had envisioned when he became Soviet leader in March 1985. By the end of his rule, he was powerless to halt the world's whirlwind he had sown. Yet Gorbachev may have had a great impact on the second half of the 20th century after a greater impact than any other political figure. I see myself as a man who started the reforms that were necessary for the country and for Europe and the world, Gorbachev told the Associated Press in 1992, interview shortly after he left office. Russians blame him for the 1991 implosion of the Soviet Union, a once fearsome powerhouse or superpower whose territory fractured into 15 separate nations. His former allies deserted him and made him a scapegoat for the country's troubles. His run for president in 1996 was a national joke, and he polled less than 1% of the vote. Well, I know you went out of Soviet Union at one point. I know you lived in California for some time, and remember, I think one of the worst times, except the ones during the Bolsheviks, was between 1991 and 2000. Let's put it this way, when Boris Yeltsin was in power in Russia. There was one of the worst economic, social, political disasters in Russia. And not to absolve or try to defend Putin, he doesn't need my defense. I think he can take it. That's what he talked about when he said that he decries it was a tragedy, the implosion of the Soviet Union. That's what he was referring to. I mean, watch his speech when he said it, and you see the whole thing. But they, they just cut it, edited wherever they end. Oh, he's just want to be again like a Tsar Peter II or something, and tries to do this and that. No, and it was a disaster. He said from a economic and social, perspective, that was bad. So, trying to find here to see Gorbachev was I don't know. I think he tried something that he could not control, and there were too many around him who were around, how should I put it, like Zelensky and the guys in Ukraine. There are some of them on the other country's payroll. So when these reforms he started, or they just took advantage and did what humans do. They tried to take power and do it their way, regardless of the common good or the greater good. It didn't even mean. Other than that, it says here that Gorbachev is survived by a daughter, Irina, and 2 granddaughters. The official news agency TASS reported that Gorbachev will be buried at Moscow Novodevichy cemetery next to his wife. I don't know. I don't know what to say about this. Possibly his his grave should be guarded, because I'm pretty sure that he will be dishumed by people. He's not gonna be. You're gonna see either big love for him, and even though I don't know who loves him and who loves now. The young generation don't even know who this guy was. The older generation are blaming him for the 1991, 1999 or 2000, where it was the most embarrassing and hurtful period in, I don't know, since, and they didn't vote for that. They didn't vouch for that. So they blame him for their pride being hurt and their lives being stolen of 10 years at least, and you don't want that to happen. So I think his grave will be, they will put some military around it, like honor guards, but I think the honor guards not to honor him, but to keep people around from it. I will look into it later and see if that's gonna be the case. Well, he lived a life, he did whatever he could under the circumstances, made mistakes, had successes like all of us, more or less. He got in power at 46 or something in the Soviet Union, which is not, I think it was 46, not an easy way in Soviet Union in the politics. It's not like here you have Bill Clinton and over there you can disappear overnight, and it was much tougher. So he must have had some negative traits in order to survive in that kind of, you don't need only intelligence, you have to have other traits, because you don't climb the ladder in those kind of circumstances just because you're nice enough or good enough, or the guy with the biggest balls. You gotta use the balls, and you gotta use it in a different way. But what can I say? Good luck to you wherever you go, and I have, I don't know, nothing against this person, and good luck to him. I don't know what to say. I don't want to say condolences. Sorry to that happened to you at 91. I think 91 is I don't want to say a good, it's never good age to die. I know that, but 91, you outlived what, 20 years of the life expectancy in Russia, which is, I think is like right now 65 or 68, so it's more than 20 years. So you're good. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.